Good morning, everyone. My name is Adam Livingston, and I am the Bitcoin Wizard. Welcome again to this fun daily show that we've been cooking up. I appreciate all of you so much for being here. You are my dearest family. I love you all. Thank you for the support. Now, I know that I have commented on this subject matter before, but I must say it has been a very fun last 24 hours because I made a post on X that went viral, and the hatred coming toward me from the traditional finance community has been quite hilarious. So this is the deal. I need all of you to share this video with the normies in your life right now because the 401k is a total scam that is designed to keep people in fiat debt slavery. You ever notice how every single 401k salesman out there talks like they're selling you salvation, like they are the Apostle Paul? They'll say you're literally turning down free money, but if somebody has to bribe me to touch it, it's not free. That is bait. That is like a guy in a van yelling, "Hey kid, want a free match?" Yeah, next thing you know, your time, your energy, and your purchasing power are tied up in an S&P index fund that moves slower than a DMV line on muscle relaxers. They call it a match, but it's really just a participation trophy for staying loyal to a dying system. You're not winning free money. You're paying admission to the world's longest rug pull. And people say, but it's free. No, it's not free. You literally have to sacrifice your own capital to get the free match. What don't you understand about that? Imagine your friend saying, buy one, get one free, and you actually believe the second one didn't cost you anything. Yes, that is what people are saying when the match is free. Congratulations, you have just been outsmarted by a sandwich shop coupon. This entire thing, this whole thing is a facade. It is psychological theater. They hand you a 4% match with one hand while stealing 8% of your purchasing power with the other, and they call that retirement planning. It's like being mugged and then tipped simultaneously. So no, Karen from HR, the match is not free. There is no such thing as a free match. It is a leash that is around your neck. And the longer that you let them call it a benefit, the tighter the leash gets. Now, before I have a heart attack, I want to get started and thank Horizon for sponsoring this video. The guys at Horizon are incredible. They hook you up with a lender who will let you tap your home equity without debt, monthly payments, or term limits. You get to tap the home equity to buy Bitcoin, and it's fully yours to custody however you would like, with no risk of forced liquidations. They're linked down in the video description below. I'll talk more about them at the end of the show. Remember, this is not financial advice. This is financial entertainment. I only like math, but these views are not representative of those of my sponsor. Now, where were we? So you know what's wild? Less than 40% of 401k plans even let you buy Bitcoin or anything self-directed. The rest are like a prison cafeteria. Everyone gets the same bland S&P 500 stew, and you better smile while you eat it. People proudly tell me, Adam, I'm diversified. I own the whole market. Cool. That's like bragging I'm drowning in every part of the pool equally. Your diversified portfolio is just a basket of slightly different flavors of the same melting fiat popsicle. Every company in that index is borrowing from the same debt fountain, selling to the same zombified consumer base, and praying the same interest rates don't snap their necks. And this is the funny thing, they call it a retirement plan, but it's literally a monetary hospice program. They keep your capital sedated for 40 years, whispering, be quiet, it's compounding. Yeah, compounding right into irrelevance. Meanwhile, you could have just bought Bitcoin, closed the laptop, and gone outside to touch some grass while your purchasing power tripled. But no, you're locked into the S&P, celebrating a 12% return while inflation quietly commits first-degree theft while you sleep. So let's call it what it is. A 401k is not a wealth vehicle. It is a glorified holding pen for people who think that decimals are progress. Let's talk about compounding because this is where fiat math officially turns into a hostage negotiation in your average 401k, you get your cute little 12% return. You plug that into a compound interest calculator and the chart looks like a polite uphill slope, the kind of line that you would draw if you were too scared to disappoint your accountant. After 30 years of obedient saving, congratulations, you've turned $10,000 a year into a modest $2.79 million. Wow, now it's time to retire into medical debt. Now let's run the same thing with Bitcoin at a 25% CAGR. Where do I get that number? Well, historically, everybody knows that Bitcoin's CAGR has been drastically higher than that 25%. A lot of people think it'll be 50 to 40% over the next 5 to 10 years. Michael Saylor himself thinks there's going to be a terminal 20% CAGR over a longer period of time after the initial higher numbers in the next decade or so. So we're just going to use 25% as the safe example when in reality it'll probably be much higher. If you plug it in, the calculator basically has a stroke. It shoots the line off the chart like it's trying to escape the nice little simulation here. Same contribution, same time frame, but now it's $64 million. That is not compounding. That's what happens when God enables the exponential setting. So while fiat investors are over there celebrating their steady gains, Bitcoiners are building generational dynasties out of math so violent it should come with a seatbelt, and that is the asymmetry. The S&P 500 is linear. It crawls like a turtle wearing ankle weights, but Bitcoin is geometric. It multiplies like rabbits on Adderall. Fiat people think they're compounding wealth, but in reality, they're just speedrunning the world's slowest robbery. And the best part is that they will call me the gambler, while they're the ones betting their future on 2% real returns in a system with 8% shadow inflation and zero exit. And this is my favorite part. Every time I roast the 401ks, someone crawls out of the fiat sewer like, but you get tax benefits, Adam. Yeah, and I get points for buying airline tickets too. That doesn't mean I'm flying the plane to freedom. Here's the truth. Deferring taxes in a fiat system is like saying, don't worry, I will pay the executioner later. You're not saving money. You're just scheduling your own mugging for a future date. They will tell you, you'll pay fewer taxes in retirement. Yeah, because by then your dollars will be so weak, they'll qualify for social assistance. It is literally the most elaborate prank in financial history. You give them your time, they give you a tax break, and by the time that you cash it out, they've changed the definition of the dollar 3 times and printed another 10 trillion of them just for fun. Meanwhile, Bitcoiners, we don't defer anything. We delete the tax timeline. Buy Bitcoin, never sell it, borrow against it, die before repayment. That's not tax deferred, that is tax evaporated. And while the fiat crowd high fives each other for optimizing their brackets, you know these people, the HOA people, the Dave Ramsey Financial Peace University baby step fiat drone goblin clowns. In the background, you are quietly collateralizing the hardest asset in human history, sleeping like a baby with a hardware wallet under your pillow and a lower effective tax rate than Congress. So yeah, keep your tax benefits. I'll take monetary self-defense. The whole game is to buy Bitcoin, collateralize it, and then never sell the greatest asset ever. Launch your own speculative attack against the fiat system. And another one of the sponsors of this channel, and no, they're actually not even paying me to make this blurb in this video. I'm just saying Firefish is amazing. They are the open market for Bitcoin-backed loans. Take your Bitcoin, collateralize it, never sell it, get your money, and just absolutely destroy every single 401k return ever. This is a company that is built by Bitcoiners for Bitcoiners. I highly recommend that you check them out at firefish.io. Now, to be more clear on the taxes front, Bitcoin does not defer them necessarily. It more so erases them from the timeline like a cosmic glitch the IRS can't patch. You don't need a CPA when you have self-custody and conviction. You just need the patience of a monk and the collateralization strategy of a genius Bond villain in a lair petting a little cat. Because here's the real alpha. If you can borrow against your Bitcoin at 5 to 10%, while the 401k crowd celebrates their 5% match like they just discovered fire, you just borrowed against appreciating collateral, and they are borrowing against their own future despair. This isn't tax optimization, this is tax transcendence. You bought Bitcoin, you never sold. You borrowed, you lived, you died, you won, you passed it on to your kids. You passed on the Ledger hardware wallet or the Trezor to your children, and the Bitcoin is in the family bloodline forever until the end of time, until Christ returns and comes back and we live in Christ's eternal kingdom. Meanwhile, Karen from payroll is still arguing about Roth versus traditional with all of her fiat drone zombies. The fiat world calls it retirement planning, but in reality, we are calling it sovereign resurrection, because once you learn to eclipse the system, the light never comes back the same way again. Now let's return to first principles for a little bit. The biggest lie ever sold wasn't the 401k, it was the idea that you will ever retire. They told you, work for 40 years, live beneath your means, and one day you'll be free. Well, spoiler alert, that one day never comes. You just wake up old, tired, and still arguing with your health insurance portal. Retirement is the adult version of Santa Claus, a fantasy invented to keep you obedient through the decades of wage slavery. You think that you're compounding wealth the entire time, but really, you're just time-locking your servitude. They show you commercials of gray-haired couples walking on the beaches, but what they leave out is the part that the beach is owned by BlackRock, and the guy is checking his portfolio between his heart meds. A 401k doesn't buy freedom, it just buys eternal sedation. It is a time capsule of debasement that says, congratulations, you survived the system just long enough to re-enter it at a discount. And Bitcoiners are skipping the queue entirely. Get in line behind the wizard. We are not saving for retirement. We are retiring from the illusion. The fiat retirees will collect their checks that have been debased, but the Bitcoiners, we just collect our own sovereignty. Fun fact for you, the goal of your life was never to retire comfortably. It was to live uncomfortably free. The truth is that retirement isn't freedom. It is a delayed permission slip to start living right before you die. Retirement is a fiat myth, a construct designed to keep you compliant. They told you to save in dollars, the one asset that by design is guaranteed to betray you. They call it risk averse, but what is riskier than trusting a melty promise? Every retirement is a hamster wheel with better branding. Every turn of the wheel inflates away your purchasing power while the system applauds your patience. But Bitcoin does not clap. It compounds, quietly, relentlessly, turning early conviction into generational freedom. Because sovereignty isn't just a portfolio allocation, it is a psychological jailbreak. When you hold Bitcoin, you stop asking for permission from a system designed to drain you. You stop measuring life in quarters and start measuring it in conviction. Fiat literally says, just wait until you're 65 years old, but Bitcoin tells you that you are free now. The access to the parallel operating monetary system of society that gives you freedom is accessible now, not in 40 years, not in 60 years, right now. You are not chasing retirement, you are escaping a matrix. You are escaping a simulation, and on the other side of that exit, there is time, there is freedom, and there is the orange glow of truth. Retirement is a fiat myth, and sovereignty is the new wealth. Opt out and live before you are dead. My name is Adam Livingston. I am the Bitcoin Wizard. If you like this content, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends and family who need to hear the orange gospel the most. My dearest little captains, my army, I command you to share this everywhere. We're not going to get Bitcoin to $1 million by sleeping around waiting for it. The world needs to wake up. I am a warrior on the front lines every single day spreading the orange gospel, and I need your help, so thank you. Don't party too hard, my dearest little goblins. Class dismissed. Once again, a special thanks to Horizon for sponsoring this video. Most people don't realize this, but on average, average, 60% of American homeowners' net worth is locked up in their primary residence. And with home prices more inflated than ever, Americans now sit on a combined $35 trillion in home equity. Now there's a way to unlock that trapped capital and put it to work in Bitcoin. Horizon helps homeowners unlock a portion of their home equity to buy Bitcoin. It is not a loan, so there are no new monthly payments. You keep living in your home as usual. Later, when you sell, refinance, or choose to settle early of your home's future value, while you continue living in it. What makes Horizon stand out is that there are no term limits and you keep 100% of the Bitcoin upside. The Bitcoin is fully yours to custody however you want, wherever you want, with no risk of forced liquidation. If you've been sitting on a pile of home equity and are eager to invest in Bitcoin, this may be the product for you. Visit joinhorizon.com to see if you qualify and get started. Their team of experts will work with you one-on-one from start to finish. Transform your dormant home equity into Bit today with Horizon.